Orson Welles' Macbeth pairs arguably 20th century America's greatest film director, the film school hero of 20th century America, with no budget whatsoever. You will notice this is a very low budget movie. They had 23 days to shoot it. The budget was $7. It wasn't literally $7, but it was low. You can see that they're reusing and repurposing very cheap sets, very unprepossessing costumes. Like, why is Macbeth wearing that? Because that's what they've got, baby. That's what they've got. Why has he got a kind of Mongol helmet? That's what the costume shop had. They only have 3 weeks. They don't have any money to speak of moving forward, but they do have the camera. And Wells can use black and white cinematography like nobody else. He's up on a pier, he's up on that special pier with Kurosawa and a few others, and with Olivier, if Olivier really feels like it for some reason. Olivier will step up his game to compete with Wells when he's directing himself. There is an absolute masterclass going on here. How light and shadow work, composition, editing, camera technique. He's got it all working. Like other film directors of Shakespeare, Wells cannot resist throwing in some things the script doesn't have. Here, he chooses Cawdor's execution, which we also don't see, which he also then withholds from us. We see shadows, we hear drums, we see the drummer, the bare chested drummer, and that makes it pretty eerie. Wells, as well as any American director ever, can use shadow to create anxiety, fear, claustrophobia. He's doing it all here. He's leaning heavily on the witches. We see more witches than usual. They show up in places the witches don't. This is particularly pronounced here. It also tends to be something that you see productions of Macbeth, both on film and on stage do. Apparently, people can't get enough of the witches, neither to be more witches. So we have a little intro, like, the witches do begin this play. Wells gives them a visual that they did not have before. We see them at the end of the play. Wells has also cobbled together a completely new character, a Christian holy man. In the script, he's called the Holy Man, who's walking around with a cross and saying things that are in the script, but that do belong to other characters. This is a kind of fidelity to Shakespeare's script. Shakespeare wrote all these words, all these lines are in this play, but they've been taken from the various characters, usually the supporting thanes, who a lot of audiences aren't really keeping track of particularly, and put together in the mouth of this Christian religious figure who's counterposed to the witches. So he's got his cross and they've got their staves that make a big Y. Why? You think about it, man. Why? Open-ended question for further discussion. Why did he make it a Y? I think the phrasing the question aloud kind of gives a hint of why he's doing it. You will see, you'll also see montage here at a key moment moving forward to his here. Wells uses montage the way Shakespeare telescopes time. Shakespeare telescopes time by just zipping ahead or being a little inconsistent. Sometimes his plays are not internally chronologically consistent. The actual Macbeth's an actual king of Scotland in the 11th century. Like, there's a real guy. No, he didn't murder. He did depose his predecessor. He didn't murder anybody by stealth. Shakespeare's just playing fast and loose with history there. Shakespeare will never let historical fact get in the way of a good history play. Macbeth was king for a decade and a half. He was king for a long time. It's not a five-act structure. Some of the kind of decay of Macbeth, the disappointment, the dissolution, happens in the Wells film with montage and with some camera work that kind of wobbles a little bit. You feeling wobbly? Well, things are looking wobbly because the camera's going that way. Here's the great thing about innovative camera work: costs exactly as much as cheap ass camera work. Editing can cost more. It takes more time in the editing room. It does add an expense. But being a great being a great visual director, great at framing, great at shadows, great at lighting, great at zooming and panning and focusing just right, is exactly as expensive as being hacktastic. This this is a film that has almost nothing that money can buy and a lot of things that it can't.